All right, let's dive into this one. From the heart of Bengali folklore comes a truly chilling tale about a family that gets terrorized by a malevolent spirit. It's a story that kicks off with a really strange, dark craving, and then just spirals into this desperate fight for survival against an ancient, hungry ghost. So picture this. It's the middle of the night, and Mandakini hears a sound coming from the kitchen that just chills her to the bone. She creeps in to see what's going on, and she's met with a scene that is pure nightmare fuel. Her daughter, Sugandha, is just crouched on the floor in the dark. But here's where it gets really weird. The second Mandakini touches her, Sugandha just snaps out of it. She's horrified, she's sickened by the raw fish in her own hands, and she has absolutely no memory of what she was just doing. That is the first major red flag that something is not just wrong, it's something completely unnatural. Now you try to explain it away, right? Sleepwalking? Maybe a really vivid, awful nightmare? The family is desperately clinging to any rational explanation they can find. But oh boy, as the shadows in that house get deeper, they are about to learn that the true horror has only just begun. Later that same night, the family's other daughter, Indrani, is jolted awake by violent banging on her bedroom door. And it's this distorted, demonic version of her sister's voice, snarling and demanding fish. Can you imagine? She's paralyzed with fear, she stays silent, just praying for it to go away. And eventually it does. But that silence that follows is almost worse. The next morning comes, and any hope that this was all just in their heads is completely shattered. Their yard is a bloodbath, littered with the mutilated bodies of small animals, and inside they find Sugandha passed out cold on the floor. Okay, this is no longer a bad dream, this is their new waking nightmare. Totally desperate, they call their servant Bhuvan, and he is the one who confirms their absolute worst fears. He tells them they're being haunted by a macho bhoot, a fish ghost. It's a spirit from folklore, and it's known for its insane hunger for fish. And here's the kicker. With every single feeding, its hunger and its power grows stronger. So that night, they are taking 0 chances. They lock Sugandha in her room. But you can't contain this thing. The parents, Tapan and Mandakini, are put through a night of pure psychological torment, violent knocking on their door, the sound of things crashing all over the house, a window suddenly thrown open by some unseen force. They are literally prisoners in their own home, and this entity is just toying with them. Just when all hope seems totally lost, Bhuvan returns, and he is not alone. He has brought a holy man with him, an exorcist they just call Baba. He is their last and, really, their only hope to save their family from the clutches of this thing. The Baba wastes no time. You can just imagine the room, thick with incense and tension as he begins his rites, his voice chanting these ancient mantras. He brings out an enchanted iron nail. It's basically a tool used to agitate and expose evil, and he starts to perform the ritual over Sugandha, who is just lying there, unnervingly still. Now, just to be safe, the Baba decides, you know what? I'm going to perform this rite on every single family member. He moves from one person to the next. Nothing. Until he holds that enchanted nail over the other daughter, Indrani. And then, everything goes sideways. Her eyes snap open, glowing a demonic red, and this low, guttural snarl just escapes her lips. I mean, what a masterstroke of deception. The spirit had used the family's assumptions, their love for Sugandha, as the perfect cover. The true target was never, ever who they thought it was. And there it is. The macho bhoot finally reveals itself. But it's not in Sugandha. It's Indrani who lunges forward, her body contorting, speaking in this demonic voice as she attacks with terrifying, superhuman strength. Can you believe it? The family had been focusing on the wrong daughter the entire time. So you're probably asking, wait a minute, how did the ghost switch bodies? Well, it turns out the family only knew half of what happened that first night. This ghost was playing a much smarter and much deadlier game than they could have possibly imagined. The Baba explains the terrifying truth. The ghost initially possessed Sugandha for one reason, to get to Indrani. When a terrified Indrani finally opened her door that first night, the spirit just transferred. It jumped from one sister to the other. So it was Indrani who killed the animals. It was Indrani who was tormenting her parents from outside their room. And the stakes here could not be higher. The Baba reveals that this type of possession is fatal. Had the spirit stayed in Suganda's weaker body, it would have consumed her life force within a day. This thing isn't just haunting them, it's actively trying to consume them, one by one. So there's only one way to save Indrani now. A dangerous, final ritual that has to be performed at the river's edge, the very place where the Metro Bhoot came from. They have to face the spirit on its own turf. The Baba's plan is basically a multi-layered spiritual trap. It's brilliant. First, protect the family with enchanted threads. Second, you seal the house with enchanted bamboo poles so the ghost has nowhere to retreat. Third, you use its own weakness, that ravenous hunger, to lure it out. And finally, when it's exposed, you destroy it. And so they head to this dark, eerie river for the final confrontation. The entire family's fate is hanging in the balance as the Baba prepares to face this thing head-on. Under the pale moonlight, with the possessed Indrani tied securely to a chair, the Baba lays out the bait. A trail of fresh fish, the scent cutting through the night air, leading from her feet right to the water's edge. He begins chanting, and the spirit inside Indrani starts to writhe, agitated, drawn by the irresistible call of its own hunger. It's screaming through Indrani's mouth, just giving in to that all-consuming hunger. You know, this craving, the very source of its power, is now being used as its fatal flaw. The spirit just can't resist. It pours out of Indrani's body, materializing as this shadowy form to devour the fish. And in that exact moment, the Baba moves, swiftly tying the final protective thread around Indrani's wrist, and boom, the ghost connection to her is severed for good. Now it's exposed, vulnerable, and the spirit is trapped. The Baba hurls a single flaming coconut, empowered by his mantras, directly at the ghost. It lets out one final blood-curdling shriek as it's consumed by holy fire, and then just vanishes into nothing. Indrani collapses, finally free. The family is safe, but they do not stay a moment longer. Tapan immediately arranges for a job transfer, and they abandon the mansion, leaving it empty and silent once more, a monument to the terror they went through. And this leaves us with one final, pretty chilling thought. I mean, this family escaped. This one ghost was destroyed, but the folklore tells of many, many spirits just like it. It makes you wonder, what other creatures might be waiting patiently by the dark water for their next unsuspecting victim?